talk about cats. No, just kidding. Well, last time was about sort of cat and dog mentalities in life, cat and dog mindset, which basically means a cat mentality would be like, I'm fine. And the dog mentality is fantastic. Just today I sat in the park on a bench and this dog chasing like furiously after a ball. I mean, that's an attitude that's exciting, right? But to be honest, about that thing, I'm secretly a cat person. So, just so you know, as a disclaimer. No. Recently I joined a choir. I started singing. I like singing. And even before I was born, my mother primed me with certain song lyrics. And they were of a song that you might recognize, something like this. Well, here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note by note. Don't worry. Da, 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 da. Be happy. Exactly. So don't worry, be happy had become sort of the catchphrase of my life. Except that I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to actually do that. I actually think it's a pretty crappy advice to give someone. Don't worry, be happy. Well, just be happy. So it didn't really work. And so I spent more than 20 years figuring out how could I actually get to the state of not worrying and being happy. And most of the time I did it totally wrong. For example, I would sit in my dark, lonely room and ask questions such as, why can't I just be cheerful like these other people? They must be wearing rose-colored glasses because it was quite gloomy, really. Or, when will the time come that I finally can be spontaneous and open and not feel so self-conscious when I walk over the street? Why am I so lonely? Where did this start? What did I do wrong? What am I overlooking? None of these questions really received any answers. But this is, does this sound kind of familiar? This empowering thoughts and questions that we ask ourselves sometimes? Because it's true that we all face suffering like this. It's the first truth of Buddhism as well. Humanity suffers. It's kind of the other side of the coin. And what I want to say with that is, we all experience this, but usually we don't know always how to get ourselves out of that. And so something that helped me was to, for all these years, look for tools, for concepts that can help me. Because these thoughts are usually, based on language. So if we find language to help ourselves get to know our minds better, then we could get ahead. Something I learned recently was a concept that is called the 4 categories of human experience. Imagine this. Imagine 4 levels. The highest level is what we call bliss. So people say, I just want to be happy. That is where love is, where that playfulness is, freedom, that flow. When things just all work out, like the campfire effect. The lowest level, you could call despair. Violence, abuse, suicide, compulsiveness. We don't want to be there. How do we create that highest level? We cannot consciously get there. Because we cannot force ourselves to be happy, force ourselves to be in love, force ourselves to play. Imagine a child and you tell them, now go play. Play, enjoy yourself. Well, that's not how it works, right? It emerges spontaneously when you create the right circumstances. Now there's 2 levels in between. It's important to understand that the highest level of bliss is when it's good for you, you like doing it, it's good for others, and it serves a higher purpose. The lowest level, it doesn't serve a higher purpose, it's not good for you, it's not good for others, and you don't like doing it. So, no reason being there. However, most of the time, a lot of times, we are in this 3rd category, which is, one could say, disempowerment, reaction, which is where we complain, where we have addictions, excessive abuses of drugs, alcohol, smoking, computer games, I was addicted to those, where we lie, where we betray, where we don't keep our words, where we don't clean up after ourselves. And all these things, are often because we don't know how to put in an effort we don't know how this works to get actually to a higher stage. The second stage is where we want to be. That is a stage that I call the cold shower zone. This is how it works. You cannot get to the state of bliss consciously. It's like with a sail ship story, you cannot force that nice wind to be there, and these nice waves and everything. However, you can determine, what your vessel is like, how to set the sails. Meaning we can create the circumstances to get ourselves into a state of bliss and be happy and not worry. However, there applies the quote that there isn't a shortcut to any place worth going. We have to put in some effort. And there, we actually might have to do things that are uncomfortable, that we don't like doing, such as being truthful, expressing appreciation, gratitude, committing to things, admitting that we're wrong, forgiving, cleaning up after ourselves. And so you see what this is going. These are things that we don't naturally like doing because you have to put in an effort, because they might be slightly uncomfortable, but they will be good for us in the end. They will be good for others and they will serve a higher purpose. And only if we create these circumstances consciously every day can we actually get to that highest level, which feels like bliss, which feels like flow. And I have managed to actually tune my habits so that I am in that state quite often, compared to how it used to be. Well, I think I'm doing some things well. And I want to share with you one thing that I do. It's just like with washing yourself, with cleaning yourself. We all have to do it. It doesn't go by itself. Even cats clean themselves. Even animals do it. Because we get a reward for it. And so, introducing the cold shower. Stepping out of that comfort zone might feel like a cold shower. A refreshing shock for the body. But also, philosophically, it means you're doing something that you don't really enjoy doing, but it's healthy for you in the end. Here's why. A cold shower, science says it's healthy for the body, but also, imagine first thing in the morning, you decide to take a cold shower. Meaning you already take the decision, I'm going to do something that's slightly uncomfortable, and there's no in-between. It's either you do the cold shower or you don't do it. And if you do it, you have already done something that is creating a circumstance of willpower. So if you have already done it once that day, you can do it more often. You can control yourself whether you actually stick to the habit. Most New Year's resolutions fail because people give up easily. Give up when they face the shower head, and then make it warm, and then don't make it cold. They get out before it actually gets important. And here's what I do. I go into the bathroom in the morning. I look at myself in the mirror. Then I go do 160 push-ups. That's optional, but it's cool anyway. And it gets you a little bit sweaty because cold showers are good after exercise as well. Then I get naked because we come out showering, and that's how I do it. Then I take some shampoo. Well, there is a practical purpose to showering, which is getting clean, right? That's why you do it every day. Then I'm in there with my sponge or something, and I look at the shower head, and the shower head looks back at me. And it's like we have this instant understanding, where we both think yeah, you know the drill. You know what's going to happen. We don't have to talk about it though. And then here's one thing to really remember. Most people, when that cold shower comes, will start to hyperventilate. That's also what I had in the beginning. When I was had set the aim of I'm going to watch all the James Bond movies, and James Bond takes cold showers, I'm also going to take cold showers. Oh! Some recognition there. My body contracted, I thought I'm going to choke, I can't take any air anymore. Because here's what happens. It's also, again, in line with some earlier advice, pause, take a deep breath. Here's the key. For these cold showers, and also philosophically, for these situations in our lives, we have to face discomfort. Breathe out slower than you breathe in. Because this is one thing you can control. You know what is going to hit you. So like this, you take an action, the action will lead to a result. That result will influence your belief and consequently your attitude. Where in that cycle can we take action and actually influence the process? In our attitude. We can determine how we're going to react to something. So when that cold water comes, we know I'm still in control of my breathing. Right? And I do cold, only cold. And now it doesn't even feel like it's cold versus warm, like good or bad. Warm is good and cold is bad. It's more like, well, this is going to be boring for an hour. And I want to rinse after all. So after 30 seconds, I put on the warm water. Something for 10 minutes I stand there. And I also finish cold. It's like you prepare your meal, then you enjoy it, and then you clean up after yourself. That's how I do it. You can do it however you want. But this is the thing that I notice we can all do every day because we all shower, because we can all experiment with it. And every time we look at that shower head, we can think back to the cold shower philosophy and wonder whether maybe it might not be worth a try to already start off the day with an act of discomfortable willpower, right? And I like to practice what I preach. So